What does it mean to become a spiritual warrior, and how do you do it? Hi, I'm Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this is On the Wings of Your Mind. So the question of the day is, what does it mean to become a spiritual warrior, and how do you get there? Well, as a regular part of this program, I've been referring to the status of being a spiritual warrior. What does that term really mean? Well, the term spiritual warrior is used in Tibetan Buddhism to identify one who combats the universal enemy, the ultimate sort of source of suffering, according to Buddhist philosophy, which is ignorance. Another definition of the spiritual warrior is a heroic being who, with a brave mind and an ethical impulse. That is, their first instinct is to act ethically. Another definition is that the spiritual warrior's complete and right practice is to compassionately help other beings with wisdom in order to liberate them. It's also used in esoteric practice as illuminated heart, or one who aspires for enlightenment, or a heroic being. Spiritual warrior. Let us become one. Please click on the thumbs up button, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. I would love to get your comments, thoughts, questions. So please use the chat box on the right side of your screen, or if you're watching this in replay, please use the comment section below the video. So, as I review those definitions of what a spiritual warrior is, the thing that sticks out for me is that the spiritual warrior's only complete and right practice is that which he compassionately helps other beings with wisdom in order to liberate them. And as we step back and look at the world that we exist in today, we can see that there's a battle going on between those who want to dominate and exploit the people of the world. They seek to diminish and eventually destroy any recognition of the divine in our lives and insist that God or infinite intelligence or universal consciousness, however you choose to define it, does not exist. God does not exist. God is dead. They seek to eliminate the spiritual in favor of the material powers of greed, avarice, lust, ego. On the other side of that battle are those who are seeking to save the world and make it a better place to live, where peace, love, ethics, and the gifts of spirit can prevail. Within that group is us, the spiritual warrior, the one who wants to save the world. The spiritual warrior, is someone who is not intimidated by those who threaten the rights of others to exist, or who ridicule those who behave ethically, or think that people who are spiritual are losers. According to Adam Brady in the Vedic Educator, ignorance of the true nature of the world invokes countless forms of suffering. Countless forms of suffering, ignorance. The spiritual warrior deliberately takes up the fight against this cunning foe, that cunning foe being ignorance, and choosing to bring light to the darkness. Now, while the words like warrior and fight invoke images of physical combat, the spiritual warrior is involved in mental and spiritual conflict, not physical. First, there is the internal struggle of bringing one's own mind under control. The mind is a powerful instrument, but its energy is usually wasted by the constant chatter, chatter, chatter that is running in the minds of most people. The Buddhists call it the monkey mind. And this chatter is usually negative. It's usually demeaning and criticizing of the person who is doing the thinking. They're thinking statements like, I'm not good enough, or I'm not attractive, or I'm a loser, or I never win anything, or anything that is negative to them. I'm a loser. Now those who serve to those all serve to disempower and weaken the person who is doing the thinking, the person whose mind is chattering, chattering, chattering. The spiritual warrior, on the other hand, learns to quiet that chatter. Learns to quiet it in order to hear the truth that comes from connecting with infinite intelligence. We are powerful. We are loved. We are loving. We are bringers of the light. Now, in addition to those internal struggles of the mind, the spiritual warrior is also battling the external negative forces that surround us. Those who seek to exploit others, those who bully others, those who seek to control others, as well as those who are plagued by their own inner demons, their negative chattering minds. Now what the spiritual warrior comes to understand is that this is a vibratory universe, and we are vibratory beings of light. Because we are vibrating, we're creating a field of influence around ourselves. It's an electromagnetic field that attracts the kinds of experiences we have in our lives. If we're negative, we attract negative experiences. If we're positive, we attract positive experiences. So as spiritual warriors, we learn to transform our vibrations into positive energy through our thoughts and our behavior and our practices. And when we do that, then our lives begin to attract more positive experiences. And as spiritual warriors who are attracting positive experiences, who are having that internal light turn on and glow, we become lights in the midst of darkness. We become lights in the midst of fear, and anger, and despair, shame, and guilt. Those are the darkness that imprisons so many people. As spiritual warriors, as beings of the light, we embody the teachings of the book of Matthew. Let me bring that up. Book of Matthew, chapter 5, verses 14 through 16. You are the light. You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. So let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. That's Matthew chapter 5, verse 14 through 16. So as a spiritual warrior, you won't go around glowing in the dark, believe me, but your inner light will be noticed by those around you. It's going to affect others around you. It's going to affect those who also have that inner light, and they will join you. And it's going to affect those who are seeking, who want to develop their own inner light, and they'll be drawn to you. And it's going to affect those who are seeking the peace and healing of being in contact with that inner light. And so they are going to seek you out. And as our numbers grow, as the numbers of spiritual warriors grow, we can begin to transform the world and help bring about a global shift in consciousness. We can bring our planet back to a state of equilibrium and peace. That's why I'm always urging you to join with others of like mind so that our combined powers will bring about the dramatic transformation, the dramatic change, not only within ourselves, but to those who are around us, and in turn those who are around them. So what then are some of the qualities of a spiritual warrior? What attributes or states of mind are necessary to become so-called warriors of the light? Well, one is awareness. A spiritual warrior must possess expanded awareness. And while your spiritual practice such as yoga and meditation will enhance and accelerate the growth of your awareness, a spiritual warrior has the awareness to recognize that we are at war with the darkness of ignorance. 2, courage. A spiritual warrior has courage. You know, Bruce Lee, the martial artist, the actor, the producer, the famous martial artist Bruce Lee, said, "Do not pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one." That's what it means to have courage. As previously, as I explained before, the path of the spiritual warrior is not necessarily easy. Spiritual warriors press on when confronted with adversity, doubt, or the inconsistencies of their belief and behavior. This doesn't mean that you don't feel the fear. It means that you feel the fear, but you keep going anyway. You keep going anyway. And when others see that, they can begin to acquire courage as well by following your example. Number 3, discipline. Spiritual warriors possess discipline, the ability to restrain yourself, to control your impulses, your desires, or your emotions for the sake of, I want it now. No. Discipline allows you to hold yourself together as you see improvement coming, as you know that improvement comes, and you have the discipline to wait for it. It's not something that comes from an outside authority. It's coming from something that comes from within you, from the fire of your own will. 4, patience. Patience is the next quality of a spiritual warrior. Patience is the calm acceptance that not everything happens according to your time. It's not all about you. It allows you to be content and pause and wait for things to unfold in their own time. You know it's coming, and you have the patience to wait for it to happen. And I know that that's especially important during these times of social distancing, because we really want to get out there and do something. We really want to get out there and be, but we can't. So we need to be safe and alert. Basically, we need to be patient. Number 5, compassion. The spiritual warrior has compassion. As the Dalai Lama said, compassion and tolerance are not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength. So show compassion for those. It's easy to be hurtful and mean and to put people down, but to give kindness and compassion and to uplift people, there is strength, there is power. And finally, love. 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 To the spiritual warrior, love is all there is. It's the core of your being. It's the core of all other beings. We understand that. Expanding the field of love for ourselves and for others is the ultimate goal of the spiritual warrior. Love heals all wounds. It is the transformative power that can change the world. As I talked about it yesterday, being touched by the energy of infinite intelligence that we interpret as love, it is incredibly powerful. It's more powerful than we can possibly imagine. So opening ourselves up to that love, the love of infinite intelligence, empowers us as well. And spiritual warriors who are filled with the light of love can transmute the darkness of ignorance and anger and fear and discords. We can do that as spiritual warriors. So those are some of the attributes of spiritual warrior: awareness, courage, compassion, love, discipline, all that. When you possess those attributes, you become a very powerful person, a very powerful force in changing the world. And you remember, infinite intelligence lives not only outside of us, but inside of us, expressing as us. And so, to become a spiritual warrior, the first step is to acknowledge that, to acknowledge that you are an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. You are an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. So when you speak through the purity of your heart and mind, then infinite intelligence is speaking through you. So, speak your truth, spiritual warriors. Speak your truth. Let's close with prayer. Thank you, infinite intelligence, for bringing all of us together in this life so that we may become spiritual warriors and join in the work that we have come here to do. Thank you, infinite intelligence, for bringing us into this space of awareness and a deeper understanding of ourselves and our relationship to life and infinite intelligence. Thank you for showing us who we really are. We open our minds and hearts to the truth of our being. We are the children of God. We are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. And because we are part of the greater whole, we are beginning to understand our value to the continuity of life on this planet. And as we become the channels of your power, infinite intelligence, we can feel your presence within ourselves and within our lives more and more. We know that as we feel your presence within our lives every day, we will rise because we are no longer cut off from you by being immersed in the darkness of fear, anger, and the pain of unforgiveness. So we are now restoring our connection through the grace of forgiveness, knowing that as we learn to forgive ourselves for the pain that we have caused to ourselves, and as we learn to forgive those who have inflicted pain upon us, our connections will grow stronger and our lives will grow happier and healthier and more prosperous. And for that, we are truly grateful. As above, so below. As within, so without. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here with us today. Remember to click on the thumbs up button if you haven't already done so, and choose to subscribe. I'd really appreciate that if you subscribe. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Loved in any questions, thoughts, comments. Some of you are giving them to me over Facebook, over Messenger. So I really appreciate your thoughts and comments. In the meantime, have a great day, and I hope to see you tomorrow. I am Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this is On the Wings of Your Mind.